Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the storage of raw materials in the food industry. So, the storage of raw materials is greatly versatile and it depends upon the type of food ingredients used in the preparation. The facilities must build to sustain the stability and storage life of the food material used in the industry. So, let's come to the storage facilities. The storage facility should be planned to avoid the cross-contamination of the foods and the accumulation of pests in the raw materials or finished goods. So coming to the food allergens, these are the top nine allergens like dairy, eggs, fish, shellfish, soy, sesame, wheat, peanuts, tree nuts. There are other like lupin, sulfides, and other allergens. So these are all have to be stored in a way it doesn't cross-contaminate among them or the other food materials. Let's assume there's a food product which contains gluten and the other product which doesn't contain gluten or any other allergen. These allergens shouldn't get mixed into that particular food material. Otherwise, it would cause an issue. So freezing and the chilling facility should be equipped for those foods which require to be kept in the low temperatures. So proper maintenance of the storage facilities is indispensable as the products are stored in huge quantities, of course. So food materials is stored in shelves or pallets above the ground level to prevent the insect and rodent infestation and facilitation in the cleaning and sanitization of the facility. The food materials like oils are stored away from the sunlight. Of course, it causes oxidation if it is exposed to the direct sunlight. So sunlight as it triggers oxidation reactions in them, which results in the rancidity. So rancidity is like spoilage of the oil. So when the oil becomes rancid, the peroxide value of the oil gets increased, and the even the texture of oil becomes thicker. So allergenic content foods are stored separately from non-allergens to avoid the cross-contamination. Shelving in different areas, color coding, labeling, and um, would reduce the risk of contamination. So according to the FAO 1998, the non-food materials like cleaning chemicals, preservatives, and additives must be stored separately from the food materials to prevent the contamination. So it would be more dangerous. It would be a chemical contamination to the food product, and it could be unnoticeable as well. So obviously they have to be stored in a separate warehouse or separate storage area. So product which requires freezing temperatures for the storage, like meat, even the vegetables, which requires the freezing, should be kept below minus 18 degrees centigrade in order to improve the shelf life. And proper humidity levels have to be maintained, which is less than 15% for the dry foods. So the relative humidity have to be less than 15%. So product which spoil in the danger zone at a fast pace, such as vegetables, milk, fruits. So all the perishable foods should be stored in the refrigeration temperature, which is below 5 degrees centigrade. So here is the list of perishable, semi-perishable, and the non-perishable foods. As I said, milk, vegetables, they all come under the best perishable. Semi-perishable is the one which has more water-bound. So the AW activity of the foods are lesser in case of potatoes, onions, or garlic. So anything which is less than 90%, they come under the water activity would come under the semi-perishable foods. So non-perishable foods, obviously, anything which has water activity less than 70%, and then and has more bound water in them, they come under the non-perishable foods like dry fruits. Yeah, so temperature control in the food safety, as I said, like as I mentioned, the danger zone between 5 to 60 degrees. So above 60 degrees, obviously the microbes can't survive. And it is relatively closer to the pasteurization temperature, which is 75 degrees centigrade. So the bacteria gets destroyed. And below 5 degrees centigrade, it is cold. And on the growth curve of the bacteria, the microorganisms growth gets slower. It doesn't say that there won't be any microbial activity, but the activity would be slower in this case if it is below 5 degrees centigrade. Above 75 degrees centigrade, above 60 degrees centigrade, it all gets destroyed due to the pasteurization temperature. Uh, it is not enough just to pasteurize it. Even like sealing once the pasteurization is done is equally important because there are chances of getting microbes grown once it is exposed to the outer environment again. So either it gets packed properly and stored in um, cold temperatures, or it's either like completely retorted and canned to avoid the bacterial growth in them. So proper sealing of foods like rice, flour, oils, semi-perishable and non-perishable should be done and stored at dry condition. AW 0. Less than 0.65. As I said before, the water activity is less than 70. So in optimum temperatures at 10 to 22 degrees centigrade, which is the ambient temperature, to avoid the spoilage. So optimum temperature needs to be maintained to avoid the bacterial growth in the foods, which may lead to foodborne illness on consumption. So that's all about the storage conditions in the food industry for raw materials. I'll come back with another video regarding the GMP. Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe.